Hello everybody, my name is Jenny, and this channel is called Senior Perspective. I'm glad you found it. We're going to talk about the podcast on Juicy Scoop and one little section of it that I haven't covered yet that confuses me. Let's go. So Christine is talking about more sister wives entering into the family. She said that after she was married to Kody, that there were two other wives that were kind of like sort of possibilities, but then not really. One didn't really want to be a sister wife. She was just interested in Kody, so that didn't work out. And the other one just didn't work out. They just didn't gel amongst them. And so it has to be somebody who is going to connect with all of the wives.
You guys had been living together, been living as a family with just the three wives and Kody. So for like 13 years, nobody talked about bringing on a fourth wife. How did this come about then?
So on and off, we did talk about bringing in another wife. There was a couple of times where another woman was interested in joining the family. And like one of the women that were interested was just interested in a relationship with Kody alone. And I'm like, nah, that's not going to work for us. And then there was another woman who was interested, and that one going all right, but then all of a sudden that was shut down. So that was over. But we were interested in, there's another couple of women that wanted to join our family that we talked to for a bit. But it was just something when you live plural marriage, you're never really
Do you ever wonder about those other women? Like, what if?
Yeah.
That was the one that you pushed for, where things could have gone.
I know.
And then Christine goes on to talk about the story that Kody mentioned the other day. And this is where I'm totally confused. All right. So we have that story. We talked about it ad nauseum on my channel.
The sacrifices that I made to love you, wasted. I'm going back through all of this. There was sacrifices I made to love Christine.
Oh man, the sacrifice to love you. I'm like, I would have decked him. At that point, what the hell?
He had to have loved Christine more than this girl, if this were true, to tell the girl, I'm not going to marry you. And then go on to marry Janelle, and then a year later go on to marry Christine. So this was years before he married Christine. Apparently, Christine said, oh, if you marry her, you're never going to marry me. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm not going to marry her then because I want to marry you. Completely contradictory to the story that he told before, that he never really wanted to marry Christine. She was just royalty family in the church, and he did it sort of out of obligation, really should have courted her a lot longer, and never loved her.
Yeah, that was a tangled web of lies.
I'm sorry, the story doesn't jive. It just doesn't jive. And Christine has a very good point. It's over 30 years ago. Why are we bringing this up now? That whole knife in the kidney thing, that's the thing that he recalled in his brain to yell out, all the sacrifices I made for you. First of all, it's one sacrifice. If it's even true that he wouldn't marry somebody else to marry Christine. What are all the other sacrifices? This is the only one he can come up with, and it was over 30 years ago.
And it's a lie.
He looks dumber and dumber as he gives more explanations. I wish we could sit down and ask him more in-depth questions, because the contradictory statements and the silly, stupid, dumb statements he makes are entertaining. He was married to Mary. He was starting to court one of Mary's friends. But then Christine, who's this outlier friend of his, said, oh, if you marry her, I never will marry you because I don't like this girl. And Kody said, okay, and he decided not to marry her. He then goes on to marry Janelle and then eventually marry Christine, but claims in the book from day one never was in love with Christine. The story makes no sense. The whole thing seemed like a fabricated lie, and Christine said that she felt that the girl wasn't really that interested in Kody.
There was a woman that I was courting for a very long time before I married Janelle. Her and Mary were friends. After I married Christine, she still wanted to be in the family.
None of that is true.
Christine shut it down the first time because, Christine and I were friends. She says, I'd never marry you if you married her.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
And then Christine had no interest in having her in the family after Christine had come into the family.
I didn't try to prevent Kody from getting married again. I just don't even remember her wanting to marry Kody. It's just a lie. I'm sorry, that's just a lie. And why is he living in the past? Why is this relevant to anything?
Yet, we're getting a different story here. I mean, there can't be two girls in basically the same situation. Unless this is a whole different person, which is hard to believe. Christine confirms the story that somebody was interested in Kody after Mary. And she confirms the fact that she did not like this girl. She goes on to say that she thought to herself, if he ever ends up marrying this girl, then I won't be marrying Kody because I don't like her. And, don't want her to be your sister wife. I don't want to live with her the rest of my life. And to her surprise, Kody broke off the engagement the week before the wedding.
The engagement is off.
They were engaged. And then Christine goes on to say she was relieved because she thought, I might be able to now marry Kody in the future. What?
I don't know. There was a woman that he was interested in. He was even engaged to.
Engaged.
He called off the wedding before. He was only married to Mary, and then there was this other woman that he dated, and I wasn't a big fan of hers. And so I was like, well, if he marries her, I'm not going to marry him. That's all it comes down to. And he called off the wedding a week before they got married. And then I was like, I guess I could marry Kody again. It does make a difference. The women make a big difference.
What? Make it make sense. The whole story with Kody originally doesn't even make any sense. It just absolutely does not fit together. Something's missing. Why would Christine have that much power over somebody he was getting ready to marry? Is this the same girl? If it's the same girl, that means he was 1 week away from marrying Mary's friend. 1 week away. And then broke it off because some random girl who he's never courted or had any relationship with. But if it's the same girl, then when Christine said in her talking head, I don't even think she was interested in him. He's just lying.
I just don't even remember her wanting to marry Kody. It's just a lie. I'm sorry, that's just a lie.
Then that's Christine lying. Because if he was a week away from marrying her, Christine had to know that he was interested in her and that she wanted to marry into the family. That's what she said. Christine said that she didn't think the girl was ever interested in really marrying Kody. But now she's saying the girl was a week away from marrying him. And Cody's the one that broke it off. What?
Were you lying to me then? Or are you lying now?
Can anybody make sense of this? These sentences do not go together. These thoughts do not go together. I think there's a very good chance that both Kody and Christine are lying. But I don't know why. Why are we not just telling the truth about this story? Why the need to lie? I am so baffled right now. Please help me. If you can make sense of this story and put 2 and 2 together, if you know any information that, this is a different girl, Christine didn't like 2 of them, and the one she didn't know was interested in Kody at all, but this one definitely was, or maybe Christine was confused and she was thinking of another girl, and then during this interview she was thinking of this girl and didn't put the 2 stories together. I don't know, but my head is spinning. I listened to her say this and I was taking notes and I'm like, what? I had to keep rewinding and playing and I'm like, this is not what you just said before. I am so confused. It does not make Kody exempt from the whole knife in the back. All the things I did for you, the sacrifices. Because still that makes no sense. He never loved Christine, and years before he married Christine, he was willing to not marry somebody else because Christine didn't like her. That it still makes no sense. So it doesn't sound like that's a legit, honest sacrifice. And what are all the other sacrifices? We didn't even hear one more. I don't even know if that one's true. Apparently there's a whole bunch more, but we have no clue what they are. I think because there are none. So now I'm frustrated with both of them. I don't know what to make of this. This is a mess. Make it make sense for me, please. Write down below. What am I missing? That's all I have. That's the end of the interview. Woo! All right, I'm going to start diving back into the Mormonism Live and doing some reviews on the great grammar of Kody in that interview. Oh, bliss, oh, joy. That one takes me so long to go through. And if all goes well after all my travels and all my weekend retreats that I'm organizing and my school schedule falls back into place by about mid-February, my life should ease up a little bit in terms of work and we can start our book club. That's all I have for today. You have a great day. Thanks for watching my channel. I do appreciate it. Be sure to share this with your favorite friend or relative or post it on your favorite social media platform where they're talking about sister wives so that they can find me too. All right, that's all I have. Take care. Bye, everybody.